Pretty Deadly, the tag team that made a name for themselves with their hot debuts on NXT brands and 2 big championship titles. With both an NXT UK and NXT belt already in their portfolio, they're now looking to fight their dream rivals. Want to know more about Pretty Deadly's challenge? Keep watching for all the details. Let's begin. First up, WWE Tag Team ready for big challenge as they call for rivals. Pretty Deadly certainly aren't strangers to the professional wrestling circuit. Their journey started back in 2015 when they began making appearances on shows, earning a name for themselves. After changing their name, trying their hand at solo matches, and finally making it to the big stage, they've steeled into a solid tag team. This inevitably led to them making a WWE debut, where they've been doing pretty well. But the true home of the team is still the NXT stages, where they've won championships and defended titles. It's where they cemented their reputation as a top tag team in the constantly changing world of wrestling. The team's NXT UK debut saw them defeat Gullis and be crowned the NXT UK Tag Team Champions, and it's a title they defended for 287 days before losing it to the Mustache Mountain. They now intend to take their game to the next level, officially joining the NXT main stage in 2022. On April 5th, the team was prepared to win, complete with new stage names Elton Prince and Kit Wilson. They made quick work of Imperium before going up against the Creed brothers in a gauntlet match. They then defeated Legado del Fantasma, Josh Briggs, and Brooks Jensen, and pair Grayson Waller and Sangha. Since being crowned the NXT Tag Team Champions, the team has been looking for their next big challenge, and they have their eyes set on the Usos. Next, tag team Pretty Deadly challenges Usos in big fight. While Pretty Deadly made a big splash with their NXT win as they swept the empty championship, the show's never over in the high adrenaline world of WWE. They might have lost their title to the Creed brothers after just 53 days, but that doesn't mean they didn't have the belts. The team will still be recognized as champions. The thing about winning is that once you get a taste of it, you'll want more and more. Of course, in a sport like wrestling, you only get to stay on top as long as you make it clear by defeating all those in your way. With Pretty Deadly only having made their NXT debut around 2 months ago, they need something to keep fans' eyes on them. And what better challenge than taking on the undisputed kings of tag teams in WWE, the Usos. The duo is dead set on arranging a fight against them, and have admitted they would even be willing to rough up their younger brother Solo Sikoa. They mentioned in an interview that they might just jump him in an empty parking lot to get the Usos to respond to their calls. And now, Pretty Deadly believe they can take on the Usos. The Usos have ruled tag team wrestling for around a decade now. They hold the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions title and have had a long reign over both SmackDown and Raw titles. The former sees them on their 5th cycle with a record-breaking 324-plus days on the roster, while they're in their 3rd reign for the Raw title. Basically, they're the big fish. Compared to them, Pretty Deadly can't exactly compare on paper, but they're still pretty confident. WWE's Clash at the Castle is coming in hot as the season's biggest event in Cardiff, Wales. It's the first stadium show in the UK in almost 30 years, a fact pointed out by Prince in an interview with Metro. Pretty Deadly wants to fight the Usos for all 3 major tag titles, the NXT, Raw, and SmackDown. 2 of them are in the Usos' corner right now. The duo are big fans of their rivals, admitting that their resume speaks for itself and that they've built up a reputation over the decade. Pretty Deadly sure don't seem to be overestimating themselves, stating that they know the Usos ruled the company for a reason, and they've improved constantly over the years. Lastly, NXT stars challenge WWE Tag Team Champions. Whatever the result, if the fight ends up taking place, it would be a sight to see. Pretty Deadly are confident in their chances. They think that Usos might be more talking, less action right now, or as Prince put it, they think they've got it, but they don't have the goods. All said and done, the duo really wants their dream match to take place. But while the two certainly aren't a team to scoff at, there's a reason the Usos have ruled the tag team circuit for so long. Pretty Deadly's barely started in comparison. The thing about wrestling is that you never know until the fighters are in the cage and punches start flying. There's been no response from the Usos, but it's safe to say that a lot of people would be looking forward to a winner-takes-all match. It remains to be seen if we're going to be seeing this particular tag team duel anytime soon. Next, in other news, what Joe Gacy has to say on the negative comments around his NXT debut. WWE superstar Joe Gacy is making his debut in the WWE NXT 2.0, and the internet is going crazy for it. Upon making a statement, Joe made it clear that the controversy surrounding the debut don't worry him. Rather, he thinks the whole situation to be cool or maybe even entertaining. Joe Gacy has always been a bit of a controversial character as he adapted to the wrestling world. Coming up is his next match in the NXT In Your House. Prior to his aforementioned NXT Championship match, Gacy had an interview with the Wrestling Incorporated's Nick Hausman on a show called The Wrestling Inc.'s Daily, where he shared his views on the drama he stirred up. Joe mentioned that he had never had such a reaction from the internet, and instead of seeing all of the frenzies as something that would affect him or his career negatively, he loved that his debut had the internet talking. Gacy went on to say that he's enjoying the attention and that all of this was completely new to him. He also mentioned that in the last few years, no WWE champion had made headlines as his debut did. And now, Tommaso Ciampa on the changes in NXT and his relationship with it. NXT champion Tommaso Ciampa has opened up about what NXT was to him and what he thinks it is to fans, and the internet is taking to his interesting opinions. Ciampa, formerly known as Tommaso Ciampa, has been extremely successful in the duration of his career in NXT, now known as NXT 2.0. This includes being a two-time NXT champion, winning the NXT Year-End Awards 3 times, and being an NXT Tag Team champion with his team member Johnny Gargano. Ciampa just recently moved to the Monday Night Raw brand. He fought against Mustafa Ali and lost to him, due to the United States champion Theory causing him to be disqualified. Ciampa said that during NXT, he particularly enjoyed being #DIY, the Revival and Cruiserweight Classic coming right after. Followed by the splitting up, the feud was something that was in his league, and he managed to put a lot of effort into it. He also mentioned his tag team partner Johnny and others such as Finn and Alistair. The champion also had his take on being an ECW, saying that it was something that had a very ECW-like feel, and that when they had started doing takeovers every few months, he had felt like a legit third brand. And finally, Roxanne Perez wins NXT Women's Breakout Tournament. Fans have been hyped up for the first ever NXT Women's Breakout Tournament. Its finals were broadcast in this week's episode of NXT 2.0, and the winner was announced to be none other than Roxanne Perez. The whole tournament was an extremely close call. Netizens seemed to think that Nikita Lyons was set to win, especially on the left side of the bracket leading up to the final match. But she injured herself while fighting Ariana Grace in the first round. Though she defeated her opponent, Lyons was replaced by Tiffany Stratton as she went against Fallon Henley, coming on top as the victor and going on to the finals. On the other side, the competitors for the first match were Kiana James and Roxanne Perez, with Roxanne winning. Not stopping there, she continued to cash in a victory over another fan favorite who people expected to win, Lash Legend, before meeting up with Stratton in the finals. Judging by how the rest of the match went, Stratton was expected to win, and she seemed like she wasn't aiming to disappoint, but Roxanne managed to pull through. Perez avoided a moonsault over the top rope at the last minute, retaliating by making her finishing blow and scoring a victory after the 3 count ended. That's a wrap for this video. If a fight takes place, will you be supporting Pretty Deadly or the Usos? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.